And welcome back.
Back to the Mammal Playhouse podcast. Your host, Marco Irvin. Today we have our first host, Mike Bernie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, first guest, my bad.
It's all right.
First
English is my
up,
second
I'm
language.
back.
You don't want that. Uh, not
What's
much,
up,
man.
man?
How are you
What's
doing
up?
today, sir?
Dude, I'm good. Tired, but I'm all right. I'm hanging in there.
You're tired. That means you live your life to the fullest.
Yeah.
That is true.
Hey, facts. Facts. You don't want any leftover
Not
energy,
at
you
all,
know?
man. You got to use it up. You got to use it up all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So Mike, why don't you introduce yourself, man? For our listeners.
Sure. Yeah. Magic Mike. Let's see. Fellow podcaster as well. Um, fellow host of the Juice Monkeys podcast. And
Juiciest
Oh,
let's
yeah.
see. Purple Belt
The
Jiu-Jitsu. What
juiciest
was that?
of just monkeys.
monkeys.
The juiciest of monkeys.
You guys are
uh,
just dripping.
let's see, purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and
I'm sorry.
you're
Uh,
derailing my train of thought. Uh, let's see. No, I mean that's good. That's good. That's all good stuff. That's pretty much. That's pretty much it. Jiu-jitsu guy,
Other.
podcaster, part-time
Want to be
MMA
fireman?
sometimes. Yeah, want to be fireman. Yep.
So,
Oh yeah.
when did the magic nickname come about? What was that all about?
So this is gonna be another homeschooler joke, but I used to do magic.
Mm.
Uh, oddly enough, when I just love the gears turning. You're like, oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
ammo. So I used to do that I started that when I was 15, and I was doing like jujitsu and stuff as well, but it didn't really become a nickname until, I mean, it was kind of like a nickname. It was like, you know, people were like, oh, he does magic. His name's Mike. There's that, stripper movie about Magic Mike. We're just gonna pair the two, Magic Mike. All right, cool. And then like as I started fighting and stuff, it just kind of stuck with me, and so now it's like an
That's
official
cool, dude.
nickname. But that's how it happened.
I
It's
mean,
way better than Magic Man. You know? Yeah.
Magic
Like, could you
Man.
imagine that? That
Yeah, I agree.
Mike the
I
Magic
agree.
Man,
I totally agree.
Mike the Magician.
That's
that's be too
no.
many M's. But
Yeah.
4 M's.
Yeah.
Mike the Magic Man. Murray. So many M's.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. It's better than that for
It
sure.
is. It does have a slightly sexual connotation, which I like.
Oh, and I love it for that too. You
Little
know,
advice from homeschool. How
and
many
you
card
can't
tricks
get
do you
much more.
have?
Uh-huh.
How many card tricks do you have in 3 years?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, you got to keep yourself occupied. I mean, so I wasn't doing that when I was homeschool.
Is that how
Uh,
you made friends in high
I don't know
school?
why I started it.
Like, hey man, let me guess what
Kinda,
card you
yeah.
got.
You want to
Hell
see a
yeah.
card trick?
You know,
Yeah, pretty
that's better
much.
than
Pretty
going
much.
around telling everybody that not real.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree. Is that what you did?
Hey man, you don't really exist. Like, this is a simulation.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm real and you're not.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, that's true. You
Is this a sponsored ad? What
are. I
are we doing?
wish,
Is it
dude, but
sponsored?
no.
You don't get
What is it?
sponsored.
We don't get sponsored yet. I just
He likes drinking.
I like drinking coffee while I podcast.
All right. Do you mind if I drink some Prime?
Oh yeah,
It's
dude.
Yeah.
also not
Hey
sponsored.
man, we got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Right. We'll give free
Yeah.
advertisement until we'll start day
I
one of
I prefer Black
recording our
Rifle,
podcasts.
but it didn't work out.
Yeah, yeah, Black Rifle's good. It didn't work out.
They didn't sell it where I stopped. I bet I'll be better prepared next time.
Dang, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're good.
sorry for your loss,
Yeah,
bro.
man. Okay, cool deal. So,
Speaking of bike raffle veterans, we're going to talk about today.
yes, exactly. It's a good
Segue.
segue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great segue.
So
um,
you did this
yeah,
very,
man.
very awesome thing this year, right? Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, yeah, I can. So I did 22 competitions, which I don't know how many matches that ended up being. I have to go back and look, but I did 22 competitions basically to raise awareness for like veteran suicide. Uh, for those of you that don't know, um, 22 veterans kill themselves every single day. So, and here's the thing, like with this whole challenge, I wanted to do it for myself and, prove to myself that I could do it. Um, which ended up not really being that difficult in and of itself. Like I could do it probably twice in a year, really. Um, but with all the added stresses of life and, transitioning out of the Marine Corps and, starting a family, going to school, working multiple jobs, that's when it gets like really, really difficult. And that's how I saw it for myself, at least. Um, and it's kind of like, veterans are so, I mean, I feel like they are just like regular civilians too. Like, no one cares that you're spreading, like, the people that are like committing suicide don't care that you're spreading awareness. Um, Spreading awareness shouldn't get misinterpreted that way. um, Spreading awareness is telling people that are not necessarily like suicidal to start calling your friends and start calling the people that that are, they don't even, you don't even have to know that they're going through a difficult time. Just make a call or a text every now and then. So um, that was kind of like just heavy on my heart this whole year. It's just, every time I did a competition, just remember, call a couple of your buddies, keep them in rotation, start talking to people and keep that energy going. Um, so that was really the biggest thing. It did take me all year to do it just because this last competition was like December 16th, I think. Um, but yeah, man, it was quite the journey. I would do it again. It was rough, but I would do it again. It was a ton of fun. Made a lot of memories. You guys, all over the place. We went, all over the place. Charleston, Atlanta, Charlotte, and like we went all over the place. Great times, great memories. But like the whole time, every time I was doing it, it was like in the back of my head, and then like making sure I texted or called my guys.
How many veterans do you mean
But
like
yeah,
these competitions were you this year?
I met so tons and tons of guys. Especially like they hear it or see like a post, and then I mean, you know how competitions are. You go through your roster and you kind of like sometimes Instagram the dudes that are in your bracket, whatever. So like guys, I mean, I would always like get friend requests or follow requests right before competitions, and then they'd be like, "Dude, like I love what you're doing, man. It's awesome." Like I had a lot of MMA fighters and jiu-jitsu guys tell me like they were gonna try this challenge in 2024. So that's really exciting to hear about too. I mean, veterans and non-veterans that were let me try and take that. So that I mean, the people like veterans and civilians that I met, and I won't say inspired, but like they also want to do this. It was a ton of people this year. I couldn't really. I don't know if I could give you a number on it, but it's a ton of people.
That's so this year you
Yeah,
started your first pro MMA fight as well.
yeah, yeah. That was a whole thing in and of itself too. Kind of like I feel like at the beginning of the year I wanted to fight again, and then I was like I got to focus on this challenge and just stick to jiu-jitsu and stuff. And then our boy Adolfo started fighting, and that reignited this flame. I was like, dude, I really I can't stay away now. I was content. I was like, I'm gonna stay away. Focus on my family. I can do jujitsu and work and go to school and compete, but MMA takes so much out of your day. It takes so much out of your time, like so much focus away from everything else. I kind of wanted to just stay away. And then Adolfo had his fight, and I
With
was
the
like,
age
dude, I
back.
can't.
Yeah.
I have to fight. Yeah, the itch came back. Uh, and at first, it was going to be there was a couple offers out there to fight for some amateur titles, and then like I pretty much got offered two different amateur titles, and then the offers came back, and they're like, oh wait, we had somebody already lined up for that. Like, so I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna not fight for an amateur belt. So if that's not the case, then I guess it's time, go pro. And I mean, obviously, we all know that didn't go the way we wanted it, but I wouldn't take any of it back. Like maybe I would do some things a little bit smarter. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have fought the guy I fought at in this challenge, like in the middle of this challenge. I think that was something that you shouldn't really like. I don't know. You shouldn't take MMA
Oh
lightly
yeah.
at all, especially a pro debut. I mean, Marco, like it's not the same vibe. It's something where you
Oh yeah,
gotta
dude.
really change your,
You gotta
you
let
know.
those demons out.
But you do. You really gotta.
Yeah.
It's a completely, jujitsu. So like,
Gotta lay back a
I
little
won't
bit.
say like I don't take it
Yeah.
seriously. It is. It's laid back. You're smiling. I mean, I talk to my
Oh yeah.
opponents sometimes, and we just smile and laugh, and we're just grappling. But and maybe I need to change that, but I'm having a good
Nah,
time.
I don't
I'm
think
living my
so,
best
man. I
life.
think like that's
You know.
that's why jujitsu I think is becoming more popular because it's a very relaxed. Like it's competition. Like you get the adrenaline,
Right.
but there's relatively safe. And it's playful.
Sure. Yeah.
And MMA
Hmm.
cannot like it you're no, it's
You
all
cannot play
violence.
Can you tell
MMA.
the difference
No.
between like a super match?
Yeah.
Because both of them are just right to the
Oh,
point.
100%.
The two
Yeah.
guys in the middle of referee is a concept of buck competition. But does it feel like MMA is more like a higher intensity, higher octane, and more stress attitude?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. The stress is. I mean, I've never felt that kind of stress. Even when we fought on
Yeah.
Fight to Wins, like I mean, that's cool, and it's like this closest thing I can relate to having an MMA fight, just because it's on that elevated platform and it's the room's dark and all the spotlights are on you and people are watching, but the intensity of it is
And
not
it's
the
crazy,
same.
man, because like
You know.
so I mean I haven't fought in years, but I do remember when I was
Yeah.
fighting, like the training was different too. Like there was this like out to kill
Hmm.
somebody sort of.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I feel like for jujitsu that's also good to like pull that out, but it's harder to like pull it out. Like you have to be more like conscious of like pulling that energy out because
Yeah.
it's just kind of like jitsu.
Yeah.
Um,
You still have to
but
be more calculated.
huh?
It's
You still
weird,
have to be a
man.
little more calculated. And yeah, less variables compared to MMA.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you have the I mean, you're not getting punched in the face, but also like I feel like just the intensity. Like, like when you're training for a
Yeah.
fight that like I felt it was like life or death. And so like that intensity got pulled out of me
Yeah.
versus like in jiu-jitsu when I'm training, like I have to
Hmm.
make an effort to pull that intensity out because I don't feel like
Yeah.
as in danger, you know?
100%. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like it's almost like you're just numb at this point. Like I feel like when you first start jiu-jitsu and you start competing,
Yeah.
it's like, you're freaking out and you're like, okay, like I got a competition this week, and as it gets closer, like Friday, you're like, dude, I'm going to war tomorrow. And then, after your however many competitions, you're like, it's
Yeah.
not like that at all. But it is like that with MMA. And maybe I don't know, I've heard guys, like guys in the UFC, like and vets of the game that are just like it never goes away. It doesn't matter if you've had 5 fights or
Yeah.
40 fights, like that is going to always be there. So, I mean, there's definitely something to be said about MMA being a completely different beast. You know, I think there needs to be more time invested in it. You shouldn't be doing 21 other competitions around it that are very lighthearted, and you're like, whatever,
What?
you know, especially with like getting injured and stuff in all these
Yeah.
competitions,
Well,
you
I feel
know.
like, well, I know that like for jujitsu at the higher level, you're definitely gonna do like once you get to the higher level, you're gonna be studying more film and like seeing your opponent's strategy
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But even for like amateur
Yeah.
MMA, I think like that's important, because
Oh, it's, yeah,
like
that's a
you
huge
want to be
part.
able to
Yeah.
study and read your opponent, develop a strategy. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do that. I just like it was just intent, like just brute force. Like I just refused to get knocked
Right.
out, even though I got knocked out like twice in my like last fight.
We should have that video like right here,
Oh,
wherever.
dude,
Just the
dude,
video you getting
can we
knocked
pull
out
it
like
up on
3 times,
YouTube?
but not ever
Oh yeah,
actually.
dude, it was terrible. Like I was just crawling.
It's
But yeah,
amazing.
like I don't know if
It's
I feel
actually
like
amazing.
if I would have been smarter with it, I probably wouldn't have gotten burnt out the way I did. Up, Marco Fuentes
Yeah.
versus Mika. I see it.
No lower for me.
Yeah, that's TFA. Dang it, did they take it down again?
They took it down
Like it was
again. What do you
gone for
mean?
a while.
It's violent.
What, the promotion put
Yeah.
it up and took
Ramos.
it down?
No, no, no. Go back. Just Marco Fuentes, to H Mika, and then I don't know their last name. Oh, right there.
Oh, here's a
Mika
plug. Here's a
Harden,
plug while
right
we
there.
wait.
Oh yeah, what plug? What you gonna plug, dude?
Well, I was just gonna say I just got the start email for Toro Cup
Oh,
posters. So we're
heck
gonna
yeah,
start
dude!
doing
I gotta
that.
sign up.
Toro
I
Cup
haven't signed up.
28.
March.
Yeah. March 2nd, I think, or 4th, something like that. It's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it
Which
pulled up?
one? What part is the video?
Just it's a short. Just pull. So hit play and then just fast forward right there. Yeah, right there, dude. It's funny. I had a dream about this that we were watching this.
The fight?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. This camera is nice. Nice laser.
yeah, dude. Look,
Maybe a
there's one. Boom.
zombie drop.
Yeah.
Oh,
What the hell? I am.
man, they let this go too. Like, I mean, you were clearly like not, oh, this kid's showing off.
Yeah. Yeah, he got really there's
drop.
Oh, oh my God. Oh,
Body
uh,
kick. You body kick back. You got hit in the head.
so like
Uppercut.
you,
there's no one.
Guys,
oh my,
cover to the
oh my
single or one
gosh.
tie up.
Yeah, I tried to
Have
pull him
a
down. You didn't want none of that arm bar. Come on, get up. Like, all right, dude, let's go.
Wow, dude. This is, man.
have
Did you just like, was it like you just have something against holding your hands up, or
I thought I was doing good at boxing, man, but my broken nose says something different.
yeah.
right
Oh
over here.
man.
Yeah.
Alive.
Dude, I had only been training 6 months.
Fresh out of high school.
Yeah,
Wow.
fresh out of high school.
Down.
Nice. There it is. There it is. Dude, when I first watched this, knowing your record, I was like, there's no way. I was like, he lied about his record.
Oh yeah.
I was like, he does not win this fight.
Take a shot to try again.
Yeah.
And this kid's like, man, I should have kept it standing. I wish I would have circled
It's
out
not a
or
stand up
sprawled.
either. Had to get up. Bottom.
Yeah. They told them they're like, don't go down to the ground.
Say it for you.
Huh?
They say it for you.
No, but like he told me afterwards. He was like, yeah, say just get the knockout.
Head arm. Game over.
Goodness, he
Nah,
can't get you off him.
I didn't want to get punched in, man.
Are those ring girls or
Both.
strippers?
Hard time.
It was at the
Was this
yeah,
the
yeah,
parking lot?
There's Jeff right there.
Was
scores.
yeah, dude. This is straight out of the
Oh
movie
yeah, dude.
Warrior.
It's around the same time, right?
Huh? Yeah.
With
Yeah. Yeah, man.
around the same time. This movie was about Marco.
Yeah,
Fight his brother eventually.
I will. But yeah, man. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
man.
pretty hard headed. That was really it. No skill
Yeah,
besides a little bit of jujitsu.
yeah. I mean, it's always cringy going back and watching anything older, like MMA fights, jujitsu matches. I'm always like, I can't look at that. It's so hard, but I'm trying to get into a spot where like I can go back and appreciate where I've come from too, you know, and not look at it through the lens of someone that's critiquing my older self. It's like, dude, you had to go through all that to
Oh,
become what you are now. But it is difficult at times to watch old fights and matches, you know?
It's like watching yourself as a baby try to learn how to
I don't
talk, and
know.
then eventually you see when you go like, wow, something like that.
yeah.
You had to learn along the way to be able to learn how to
Yeah,
talk.
hey,
Okay.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Like I said, it's a maturity thing. Like I'm getting there, but at the moment, I can't like see. It's like, dude, when I watch any white belt match of my own, it's like I know that I didn't know what I was doing. So like, why do I care what I look like? Flailing around and just like jumping on some stupid submission that wasn't even close. But you know, I don't know. I'm glad that I can still go back and see that I wasn't out. I don't know. I like showing like guys that I teach or coach or like give private lessons to, and I'm like, here, this is what I looked like, you know, 11 years ago too. So it's you can do a lot in a 10-year
Yeah.
jujitsu journey, you know.
I just circle back about like better as veteran. We said when you correlate the
Hmm.
life, like the way you guys explained in jiu-jitsu and MMA, how life is like as a veteran. When you're like in the military, you have like a more like a structure system in which you can follow. But then when you
Hmm.
come into like the civilian life, you have more variables in which you have to deal with, more stress, and you say that will make it more difficult in life to try like navigate life as a civilian.
So like you said, like in the military, you have everything is pretty much done. Like you get told what to do and you do it, and it's so you know I they try to do their part in helping you transition. Like they at least check the box. They give you a thing at the end of your term where you're getting out and you have to take this course. It's like I can't remember how long it is. It's not very long. You take this course to transition into civilian, uh, and you don't realize like how much structure you're losing. You know, especially if you join it, 17, 18, and you don't know what real life is. You think you do at that time. You're like, oh yeah, I'm working a job and this and that. But dude, no, you don't. You don't know what you're doing. And then you go into this like almost like bubble. Like I remember it always felt like there was like a dome around the base and like what I was able to do and freedom. And so like when I was in the Marines, so like you get out and you think like, oh, I'm gonna get out of this dome, I'm gonna get out of this bubble. Like I'm not gonna have any ties anymore. I'm not gonna have any, like no more uh, anything keeping me from being free. And then you realize like that's not true at all. You're just out in the open, and like nobody is like telling you what to do. No one's guiding you. So I do like the jujitsu. I really enjoy because it gives me like the camaraderie, and if I stick with it and I keep myself accountable, and I mean I have you guys too. Like whenever I miss multiple days without telling you guys like, hey, I'm going to be out for a little bit, you guys are hitting me up like, where you been, like this and that. Like so, there's accountability. There's like if I want it bad enough, I have to stick into training. So like you have like somewhat structure. I mean I advise anybody to do jujitsu, especially veterans, because you're going to get out and you're not going to have that camaraderie
Yeah.
that you're used to. And then you get out, and if you get into jujitsu, I mean, it's like a similar vibe. You have guys that are completely weird in all different like ways. So it's a similar vibe, I should say, you know. I don't know if that answered like your question. I feel like I was all over
It
the
kind of
place
does
with that,
because you
but
said like about
you know,
because in jiu-jitsu you have certain rules set. It depends on what competition you gi, no gi. Or like when you
that's
go
true too.
into
Yeah.
MMA,
Yeah.
you have different ways in which you get like striking, kicks, elbows, other
Hmm.
things that you are not using. Like for example, like in jiu-jitsu, might use it like kind of like in combat jiu-jitsu, but it's not as more of a factor like you guys were saying because you have more things coming at you, so
Yeah.
you feel like you have more freedom to use different part of your body, but
Hmm.
at the same time, so does the other guy have that freedom to use it against you as well.
Yeah. That's one thing. Not a segue, just side point. I don't know if I'll ever do a combat jiu-jitsu match. I don't know. Something about like getting slapped is just not my. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. I know that can happen in MMA, but it's not the objective. And I feel like the objective of trying to avoid getting slapped and slapping
As I
So
someone,
you wouldn't want to
I
do
don't
those
know.
slap fights, dude? The power
The
slaps? Oh,
power, the power slap.
I could see you being a champion then.
that would be easy for him,
No.
the power slap, because it's hard for you to pull guard when you have a hard on while another man slapping you. That's the only reason you can do it. You guard goes out the window.
I would do it.
Dude,
I
you
would do
know,
it for that.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I would do it.
but they cut weight for that. For those power
No
slaps.
way.
Yeah, dude,
I didn't. I did not think.
I watched an article where there's like because there's lightweight champion, there's like a middle like they have weight classes now. People are cutting weight for that. Like it's so fucking
Oh my
crazy.
No, no.
I can't remember who was saying, but they were like Tony, his day job, he's a truck driver. He pulled him off the side of the road, and he still got mustard in his beard from the hot dog that he was eating. Come slap this guy in the face for $400. Like we'll give you a
Oh my
belt and
god,
everything.
dude.
Because you seen
Like
the Russians ones when it
yeah,
first started,
Yeah.
those power slap. They had like a
oh
small
yeah,
guy, like a twin
yeah,
versus like a
yeah,
power lift.
Yeah.
Well, also the thing about weight
yeah.
cutting is when you cut water weight, your brain dries up.
Oh yeah, that's the
So,
first thing that dries up.
so then when you're getting brain trauma,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what's going on, dude. Like I think Dana White's
100%.
just
Yeah, I think.
looking for test subjects for his like fucking his new program to study like CTE.
like,
The
Uh-huh.
UFC
And that's it.
institute thing.
Yeah.
Like there was this one guy
Well,
on Andrew Huberman
yeah.
talking about how like the UFC actually like hired him to study if psilocybin can help regenerate parts of the brain damaged by CTE. And
Hmm.
I think Dana White's like
He's.
we need some more test subjects.
it's McKenna
Oh my
doesn't have a research.
Yeah.
Who?
Not Terrence. Is that not Terrence?
Dennis? No, Terrence is dead.
Dennis is the one that
Yeah.
has like a sign for like CP, like
Yeah, I don't know where. But
PPI as well for like brain injuries in like for veterans. He has like a thing because he had one. I know he had one for veterans for MDMA
Yeah.
to fight depression
Yeah.
for test subjects. So they have like give MDMA. Also, there's such
Hmm.
thing called like a medically induced coma.
Hmm.
After you like get like you are like in a bad like for example like roadside ID.
Yeah.
They have like I remember there was this the Myers I think that's he was talking about that whenever he was he was medically induced coma to recover his injury because
Damn, that's crazy.
I think he was in Bethesda. I remember.
Dang, dude. So, so what's the biggest takeaway, man, that you feel like you gotten from this experience?
Biggest takeaway. I mean, I just that's actually a good question. I think the biggest takeaway is like for people on the outside, like I think I mean I got a lot of people saying like wow dude that's a lot like how are you able to do all that and this and that. I don't think it really wasn't that difficult to get the
Yeah.
competitions in. Um, it just wasn't. I mean, it's just like another day of training, you know. The MMA fight being in the middle, or not really the middle, but being sandwiched in there somewhat, that was one of the harder things. But again, it wasn't anything crazy with the competitions in and of itself. Um, uh, but I mean, with the people watching and supporting and seeing it, um, I think I like to think I did inspire some people. So that's to me the biggest thing is I just want to like again like the spreading awareness is is for more people to start calling people and uh, you know reaching out and making sure everyone's cool and good. That's to me the most important part about it all. And doing something hard like I used to always think doing 22 push-ups a day was really pointless. Um, I was like, you're not saving anybody. There's nothing, you're not doing anything for anyone. And some like guy that has PTSD or depression, he's not going to watch your Facebook video and be like, well, I'm not suicidal anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's not at all why I was doing the competition or like the challenge. That was for myself. Like the actual act of doing it was for myself, and then ensuring that I like tell people, and then also do my part in like calling my friends and veterans that I know. That was kind of like the real thing, you know. Um, I had several people that were like, "Hey, man, this is kind of awkward for me to share, but you're one of the only dudes that I was in with that still hit me up." So and he's like, "That gets me through, you know, some days." And I'm like that, you know, when he told me that, I was like, I got to keep doing this, you know, even through the challenge and after the challenge and long, you know, like keep doing it next year. All the, you know, just making sure that you get into the habit of like reaching out to you know, your people. That was really, I think,
That's
the
crazy,
biggest
man. That's
takeaway.
awesome. It is like I've had
Yeah,
an experience where someone told me like, "Hey, man, thank you for being you because like you
yeah,
literally like kept me from killing myself." And that's just
yeah,
like because like we all have self-criticism like I'm not good enough. And it's like, dude,
right,
like it's just fucking
right,
crazy. But it also like
yeah,
I think
absolutely,
like one of the beautiful things about that is like, you embarked on this journey for yourself. Like for yourself, for you to challenge yourself and like in that way of challenging yourself, you're able to spread this awareness and reach out. I think like that's the most beautiful part because it was like very like
hmm
in an authentic way. Like you could do it, right?
yeah,
That like it was easy and hard at the same
right,
time. It was easy because it's just part of your life. It's
right,
part of who you are. But then it was also like
yeah,
difficult, like you said,
yeah.
because of just circumstances. Yeah.
Everything else going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think like that's
yeah,
a
man.
like really good takeaway of like do the things that like are easy in a way that like the things that motivate you, like that make you want to do it, but that through circumstances are difficult, right? Instead of
Yeah, absolutely.
and like you can inspire people because I don't even know what that is, man. Like, what is inspiration? Like how do you do it? Because when you try to inspire people, sometimes you come off as like
Yeah.
cringy and fucking like weird. But then
Yeah.
like when you do something without even thinking about it and you're authentic, it's like, oh, dude, you're an inspiration.
Yeah.
How the fuck did I do that?
Hmm.
Like I don't, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a fine line. I mean, I think like you said, like once you stop trying to inspire people and you just like, you do your thing and you do it decent
Yeah,
or good or great, that's when, and people can step back and look at what you're doing. And I mean, I think that's when you really start to, because I mean, like that's not at all why I started this thing either, but I had several people tell me that they were going to try this thing and that it inspired them, or I helped them get through a rough time. And so like comments like that are, that's I guess
yeah,
when you start knowing that you're doing it, I guess.
cool deal, man.
But
So what goals do you have for the coming year, man? What
that's a rough one. I'm still working on it. Like back here I have my 2024 like vision board, and it's like I only have like one or two things on there right now because it's like I'm not doing the 22 challenge this coming year. It's and so like in terms of competition, I don't know. It's like it's going to be rough trying to top that without going for quantity,
Yeah,
like if I just wanted to double it and do, 44, that would be one thing, but my family and myself both kind of are like, let's not do that. Um, and I mean, I'm just working a lot. I'm working a ton now. So I think I'll give a little plug. Like, got a fight in April, an MMA fight. So that's a big goal. But in terms of like the whole year and what I want to come out of this next year, I haven't got that far yet. I'm trying to figure it out. But we'll figure it out before it starts or
as
when
it
it starts. I
goes,
don't know. You know, get that.
as it
Yeah,
goes. Did all right. So
yeah.
when you started this challenge, did you have an idea of how you're gonna feel like when you completed it? And like, if so, like, how do you feel? Like, is it completely different than how you expected it to go?
I didn't really know. I think like I started it. I started it because we had like three competitions in January. Because I didn't start the year knowing I was going to do it. I heard somebody had done it, and I was like, I really want to try that. But then I was looking at it, and I was looking at dates of competitions and stuff, and they weren't
Yeah,
scheduled all the way out yet. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all of that in, and money, traveling, and stuff like that. And it ended up being really perfect because just everything lined up. We had a lot in Raleigh, Charlotte, um, like Greensboro, like all over the area. But I think like I started it after we had like three competitions, and I was like, this is a reasonable,
yeah,
like I can do this. It's a hard, like it's a you get into a rhythm almost. Before that rhythm hits, though, you're like, this is going to be rough. Especially like April, I think we competed like six times. There was like six Sundays or something like, or six weekend days, and we competed like every single weekend. That was when I was like, I'm starting to burn out. But the feeling at the end of the year, I think it did. I don't know. It was weird because the whole thing was
yeah.
behind me at that point. You know, like it wasn't like I was taking on this whole challenge at the end of the year anymore. Um, I don't know. Like it definitely. I don't know if it didn't satisfy the way I thought it was, but it was definitely like. I mean, it's nice to have it done, and it did feel a little bit of accomplishment. but like I said, it was dragged out throughout the entire year. Um, I think I'm happy that it did help some people along the way, and really that's all that I can kind of take away from that. Besides competing a lot and getting to do what I like to do and love to do. That
Yeah,
answer your
yeah,
question?
yeah. I didn't know if you
Yeah.
had like when you started, if you had kind of like already sort of a preconceived idea of like maybe how you thought it was gonna go and how you thought you were gonna feel versus like maybe the reality versus the expectation was different.
I mean, I think it's like any competition or fight or anything. You do it chasing that, like, this isn't solely why I did it, but you fight because you want that
Yeah, the
that
win.
drug,
Yeah,
you know, and that feeling, the win, and then you get done and it lasts a day,
yeah,
maybe, the rest of the night, maybe, and then you're like, okay, I got to chase it again and I got to fight again. But I kind of already knew about that, so I was like, accomplishing something isn't about accomplishing it. It's that whole journey leading up to it and making, like I said, making those memories and going through the rough patches and dealing with stuff like the rough competitions where I worked a ton and did a bunch of homework and my son was sick or not sleeping well and then I still competed on that Saturday. Those are like the weeks that I really appreciate. Not necessarily like it was easy once
yeah,
it was over, like December 16th hit and I just showed up. I had zero expectation. I was like, I'm gonna go compete. It's gonna be done. I'm gonna share a post and I'm gonna call some buddies and that's it. I'm gonna go about my life. Um, the rough times I did try to share those times too when I was like doing a lot of extra things, training, competing, doing school, taking care of my family. Those are like the days and the weeks where I was like, all right, this story, this this needs, veterans need to see this, civilians need to see it
yeah,
too. Like, everyone needs to see that kind of stuff because it's like you got to know that there's more past like this
yeah.
hard time. It's everything comes in seasons.
This too
So that was kind of my expectation.
No, that's cool, man.
But
That's cool. So far
yeah,
you have the fight lined up this coming year.
yes, sir. Yeah,
You already know your opponent?
April 20th. I do. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
supposed
All
to
right,
say
all right.
anything, so maybe when they announce it, I can
Yeah.
come back on and I'll talk about it if you guys want. But April 20th,
420.
up in New England,
Cool.
and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
yeah, yeah.
High expectations. Let's go.
Um,
420.
I like it. Yeah, 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 for sure. Hey, it's legal up there
Oh
too,
dang, dude.
so
Heck yeah.
yeah,
Cool
it's
deal,
gonna be
man.
great.
Are you gonna is there anything different that you're gonna be doing training wise? Like anything you've been looking into, anything um
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, striking is gonna get vamped up as well as probably get some wrestling with Dervin. But starting, we've been on like a little bit of a hiatus. Not, just been, let the family kind of chill out and not have that because it's rigorous
yeah.
on them as well. Like they have to get packed up and they got to go everywhere and there's just stuff they got to do as well. And while I'm competing, my wife is taking care of my son and she's doing everything on her own. Um, so it can be a lot on the family as well. So I gave them a little bit of break, but like January 1st is like we're getting back into it big time. And I don't want to say anything, for my opponent, but it's definitely going to be, I can't say again, like I don't want to say like what's going to be different, but I told Adolfo too, like he's in camp right now, and we aim to get him on the April card as well. So he'll pretty much just be in fight camp for the next like
Really?
4 months. Um, yeah, just gonna vamp it up. Get him some dubs this year. Uh, Catch that dub in April, and then we'll see what comes after
For New
that.
Year's, are you coming to the New Year's rule?
New Year's roll. I believe I'm working that night.
Yeah, use your lunch break. Use your lunch
I'm
break.
working. I'm my lunch break, or swing
Oh
by
yeah.
after the shift. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it depends on. I mean, we did
Yeah.
that last year too, right?
Yeah. We
Yeah,
did
that was
the
wild. I remember we did
yeah,
it
we
one
did it
year.
last year.
Huh?
And me and Matt and
Yeah.
Sam did it the year before. Yeah.
Really?
Were you already training?
Yeah, it's a thing.
I don't know if you the
Last
year
year or the
before
year before?
20
I think I was, but I don't know if
21
I
to
was cool enough to
22.
get invited to that. Yeah, I was
No, you
here.
were too
I don't
cool.
think
You
I
were
was
too
cool
cool
enough
for
I
yet.
think
that,
you
dude.
came during the day. I think
Yeah.
during the daytime because Lurs was there at the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I think you came like
Yeah, it
the
might have
like
been.
New Year's
Daytime.
Day.
Because Tessa came with you.
Right.
Yeah,
Tessa
yeah.
too.
Yeah, and you were all like,
I am magic.
"Look,
I have
I have magic cards. Magic the Gathering."
Yeah, Magic the Gathering. No, Magic
Yeah.
Tricks.
Same difference, dude. Fucking nerds. Kick rocks,
No,
nerd.
do you hold on? But yeah,
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
I don't
facts.
fucking Dungeons and Dragons and shit. Get that shit out of here. Speaking about Dungeons and Dragons, um, do you focus on like visualization or like your mindset? Like, is there anything like do you put time like to work on that? Is that something you're gonna start implementing?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I'm big on like vision boards and writing out plans and stuff and seeing it ahead of time. And then I'm also so like for the last fight, I worked a lot on being so focused on in the moment stuff. Um, like I read books and articles and things on this guy um, who like really really dove into like studying big athletes and like so like Michael Jordan did this where like you never let the highs control your mindset, you never let the lows control your mindset. He's like, like Michael Jordan would go up for a layup and he'd either get it or didn't, right? And he'd make the shot and either like something happened and he didn't make it, or he did and he didn't let either one change how he felt 5 seconds later. Like say he missed it, he didn't like go, okay, well, oh no, like I need to make the next shot. Like he just like immediately did it and then said, okay, whatever happens, happens. It's done. I'm gonna focus on the next one. Um, Not even the next shot. He just focused on like what happened, like what's going on in that moment, and trying to move through like time and space, like and keeping your mindset in that time. So I tried doing that a lot, and like just not trying to let myself get hyped up for the fight, trying not to, you know, get intimidated with stuff like that, just be right in the moment. And I felt probably the clearest I've ever felt. Just there was a little bit of nerve like right before, but I felt really good. Um, and I like doing that too, like, accepting everything for what it is. Like, I'm really not enjoying right now in my life just because I have to work so much and I don't get to devote as much time to training as I'd like, or, like lifting or competing, right? Um, I'm blessed to have had this whole year to really
Yeah.
do all of that. But like right here, right now, just have to work so much. I'm not super thrilled, but I'm also accepting it for what it is. Like it's just a season. It's just happening. I'm gonna do it, make it like let it make me better, and that's really all there is. But
Yeah.
yeah, big on vision boards and visualizing
Oh, yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah. Like, do you feel like at the beginning of the year, like, because I was there for a lot of your comps. In the beginning, like
Yeah.
towards the end, we started to kind of like our schedules didn't align. Um, but
Uh, and doing like doing like where you mentioning what you said the other day, like where one of us does
yeah, yeah.
well and
Well,
the
it
other,
was
or
just
what?
kind of like,
Different schedules.
well, in the beginning of the year, do you feel like you like back to like the mentality, right? Like, did you get too
Yeah.
lost in the moment or too lost in your emotions? Like, have you, how can I word it? Have you felt a growth
Yeah.
like mentally, like from the beginning of the year
Yeah,
to like
sure. I mean,
now on like how you compete?
yeah.
Because you
I
did
mean, like I
great
definitely
this last comp, right? Like that was
right.
probably like
Yeah. I
one
appreciate
of
that.
I mean, you like probably one of the better ones.
My
Yeah.
best that
The
I've
magic
ever.
was the magic was
Yeah.
there.
The
Yeah.
magic was there.
It The magic was there. The magic was there that day. You know, like whatever the universe wanted me to win or whatever. But I definitely, you know, like even so, like you said at the beginning of the year, I think it was the first competition or the second competition. I won a match, a fight to win down
Yeah.
in Atlanta, and I won it by ref's decision, and I just didn't feel like I won it. So like I was all mad and I stormed off and this and that, you know, and I try not to, you know, I try to be a good sportsman and show, you know, that conduct, you know, but like it was just I don't know, I like wasn't in the moment at all. I was just like so flustered that I didn't do the jujitsu that I wanted to do. And now it's a little bit different. It's not that I don't care. It's more that, you know, like again, like just being in the moment, accepting losses, taking wins, either way, just being excited and Um, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I win or lose. Like I get to go home to my wife and son and, you know, dogs and stuff. Like I live a pretty
Oh yeah.
cool life, you know, even though it's jam packed with work and school and all kinds of stuff. Um, I'm very blessed, so I can't I can't really complain. You know, my mindset from the beginning of the year to this year or like to now is just being grateful for everything. Because at the end of the day, you take your L's, you take your dubs, you know, it's all I won't say it's all the same, but it really is, you know. It doesn't really you just
Yeah.
go home and it's a good time, you know.
As Rudyard Kipling said, you gotta meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same.
I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. Not getting too high from the highs, not getting too low from the lows. Just
Yeah,
staying right in
dude.
the middle.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. It's so crazy how much that, like, how big of a difference that makes, like, in your quality of life.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah. So real quick, man, real quick before we head out, it was supposed to be 22 minutes, but we've gone called it, dude. We're gonna go out for like an hour. We were talking
Yeah.
about Chat GPT before we started,
Uh-huh.
and you said you were kind of like scared that it
Yeah.
was gonna take your, like AI. Um, you're an artist and
Yeah.
you use it, but then you're afraid it's gonna like take over. Not gonna have a job. Like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about that real quick.
Yeah. It's definitely just like it's been on my mind. I mean, like I've seen it, I've used it
Yeah.
myself. And it's just there's just a little bit of it that it's like, you know, you see like iRobot or you know, like the movie Eagle Eye or something where like computers are taking over and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like electronically, like what I do as an art form is already like um like I feel like people aren't gonna pay me the big bucks to do what they can do on a you know pay $3.99 on some app and just be like this is what I want boom it generates something and then they have this picture that they paid $3.99 for, and they can get like multiple
Yeah.
done, you know. Whereas like for me, it's like, hey, I'm gonna pay you this much. It's a ton of money, and then it's like if they don't like it, they need to pay again if they want some a different variation or something. But I don't know, something like that. You were mentioning the training regimen, and that's really cool. I like that a lot. But again, it takes your job away almost if you're like personally training somebody. Unless you use it, I don't know. Unless you use it for somebody else and you like have the AI come up with their training regimen and they pay you to do that, I
So
guess. I don't know. It's a lot to like
yeah.
take
I
in.
think what's well, what I appreciate about it is that it gives us the ability to, because all it is in my mind is like it's a tool that just gathers information for me, right? AI
Right.
is it's a program, it's a software developed to just especially the open AI thing, is like to try to predict the next word. So it uses all the information on the internet
Mm,
to like predict what you're going to say. So when you write something down, it's like gathering all this information for you. So for me, it's like a tool
hmm
that I can use for when the resources, like for example, we don't have like, in the area, we don't have world class. We got what we got, but I'm very
Right.
grateful for it. But if
hmm
if we have a tool that can get us the information, get us everything and have it like structured, that's gonna make our jobs easier when we can't like go to these like world class gyms and stuff, right? It can bring it's
Right.
kind of like
Yeah.
instructionals, right? Like it can bring
hmm
that information closer to you. And so I think um
Yeah.
that and like it's another tool. It's like, like with the photograph, right? Like we were talking about, like, there was portrait artists in the 1800s that were like, oh fuck, or 1900s that were like, oh fuck. Now there's
Yeah.
pictures, there's fucking photographs. Like,
Right.
why are we even
Yeah.
gonna like paint portraits anymore? But portrait artists are still making money, and now there's also artists like photography, like that make like really cool photographies that can
hmm
manipulate the photography. So I feel like AI is just an extension
Yeah.
of that. Whereas like if you are an artist, like a skilled artist, you're gonna be able to use AI combined with your skills to create something way cooler than the AI or you yourself on your own could do, right?
Right.
So like I feel like it's
Yeah. I
a
did. Yeah. It's not something that I'm scared of.
oh, I was just
Go
saying
ahead.
like it's a way to it's like an integration tool. Like if we learn to integrate it into our skill set, it can be very valuable and like help us evolve our skill set versus just like be afraid that it's going to take over or be lazy and us
Right.
not develop our own skill set and like let AI do everything. You know, then that's when people are just going to be fucking
Yeah.
falling off the earth.
That's kind of what I'm more nervous for because I don't think it'll like mess with us too much. Like I think we are in the best phase of it because like we can
Yeah.
integrate it in the things that we do. But eventually, as like I was listening to someone, I believe he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was like, "This is eventually going to be like when the system takes from more and more and more computers and it gets these all these different ideas and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Eventually, it is gonna. I say take over. I don't mean it like the movie I, Robot, where robots literally take over. Maybe that's in the future. I don't know. But when I say take over, I mean like painting portraits isn't nearly as popular as it was when
Yeah.
it first started. It's a very like if you have the money for it,
Yeah.
sure. But if you don't, you're going to hit up a digital artist for something far less expensive, or you're going to put money into a an app or something and have that do it for you. So, like you said, like I think right now it's fine for integration and it works for us, but I don't know if the next generations are going to feel that same way. I feel like, I mean, they'll probably grow with it and it'll just be normal, but I think it's going to take less and less or it's going to take more and more from us, and I feel like we'll be less unique at that point. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like later on in life, maybe not in our lifetime, maybe in the next lifetime, but I feel like it's going to take over to a point where it's like painting isn't what it used to be. You know, like you said, like photography and digital art and this AI, I think we're all moving, and it's moving and moving and moving. And there's certain art forms that I feel like they are an art form, and they're still cool, but they're not as popular.
Well, hasn't art
I don't know if that
always
makes
been
sense.
like for the rich? Like if you look throughout history, like it
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, I
I
suppose.
feel
Yeah,
like what it does is it gives more people like access to it. So the art itself,
right,
like in the past, it was like you had sponsors and whatever. Like if you look during like Renaissance painters, I'm pretty sure there was hundreds of artists, thousands of artists during the Renaissance.
right,
But we
right,
only know like a select few because they were the best or they were the ones that
right.
were like sponsored by the church or they had the connections, right?
Hmm.
So I mean like
Yeah,
like throughout the ages the best are still going to be a very select few, but what I think is cool like it gives everybody access. So it almost makes things more equal if you have the skill set or
right,
the drive to like be a master of yourself. Right. And so
right.
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes
Like I
sense.
think it's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I mean, I do
I
too.
hadn't fucked with it. I hadn't fucked with it until yesterday where Kevin told me about it because Kevin is
Hmm.
using Kevin Holtzen, shout out, dude, the
Yeah,
freaking um the
a
musician
musician.
of DCVJJ. Hopefully we can get him on sometime, dude. He's pretty
Yeah,
cool. Um
that'd be
but
cool.
he uses it to help set up like uh training schedules for him to improve in guitar. So it gives him like exercises and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
that's
was like,
cool.
"Damn, dude, that's
Yeah,
dope."
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly might start doing it for jujitsu as well. And
It's not form armor too.
yeah, I'll probably start
The
doing
what?
it.
Jitsu.
Hmm?
It's the gentle arts.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a gentle. Eh.
Yeah, sometimes.
Gentle is you want to like put your friend to sleep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but nah,
yeah.
dude.
It's definitely not gentle, but all right.
Is that what the name came from?
Yeah, arte suave.
Jitsu.
Yeah, gentle. I don't know, dude. Japanese are weird.
Yeah. Thanks.
Just I mean, just look at Evan.
Does that mean I
Maybe
get
it's just an
canceled?
inside joke. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's in the posters. Like people come in and you just mess them up. That's what it was.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
cool deal, man. Well, I guess we'll start wrapping this up, man. Thanks for being on, dude.
You have any plugs here?
Absolutely, guys. I mean, the only thing I use is Instagram. It's magic.mike.murray. That's pretty much all I use, man. Um, you can follow the DC BJJ page. I think it's Davidson County
Yep.
BJJ. Putting some cool stuff out there. Haven't in a while, but we'll
Oh
get
yeah,
there.
dude.
We're doing
Slowly
it,
but surely.
you know,
What's your art page?
slowly but
You
surely.
do like portrait stuff?
I believe it's art by Magic Mike, I think. Yeah. Art by Magic Mike. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I haven't used it in a while, but I probably will start posting. I'll post something just because I put it out there
All right,
for y'all.
sweet. But you do portraits and a bunch of cool digital art as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, hit me up if you guys need, if anyone wants like you're running out of gift ideas, hit me up. I'll do some kind of portrait or family picture or whatever. I hate doing dogs, so don't hit me up for your dogs or animals. I don't love it. I'll post it. I'll post the one that I did recently for my wife. I ran out of Christmas ideas, so I was like, here's this, and I did her whole
Yeah.
family. But I hate drawing dogs. There's something, maybe I just need to get better at it, but I don't enjoy it at all. Maybe that's my 2024 thing is just get better at
That's
drawing
right, dude.
dogs.
Oh, yeah.
But
I gotta
yeah,
get better at drawing in general.
yeah, that's pretty much it though. Yeah.
Everything I do looks like some schizophrenia did it.
Hey, maybe that's just your
And
style though.
maybe I'm just schizophrenic.
Isn't Jeffrey
That's
Dahmer? Isn't Jeffrey
there's a
Dahmer's
potential.
painting?
Nah.
Facts. Yeah.
Oh, cool deal,
Well,
man.
thank you for joining us in the podcast today.
Yeah, man. Thank you, dude.
Time after unboxing day.
Thank.
Yeah. How was your Christmas, man?
Yeah. Thanks for having me,
Good.
guys. I worked.
God damn, you worked
I
on
worked.
Christmas? What are you, Jewish?
Muslim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I need
You
money.
are
That's what
Jewish.
I am.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
Okay.
the
guess.
thing to say.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
Shalom.
Yeah. Alrighty, dude. Well, I'll see you, man.
All right,
Have a
guys.
good one, dude.
Thank you.
Love you.
All right. Yeah. All right. You
All
as
right,
well.
peace.
Peace out.